Morning folks, how's it going? This is VFR Mitch. Today we're going to have a crack at doing a service, well, oil and filter change. This is the DCT model, so it does require an additional oil filter. Let's crack on. Hi guys, as mentioned, this is the DCT dual clutch transmission version. This one does have an additional filter which is located, I believe, in there. I got all the parts on eBay. In total came to about 58 quid plus my labour. So let's see what's involved with this, and let's get on with the show. Now the first thing we're going to do, folks, is just warm the engine up. Make sure the engine oil's warm, because obviously when it's cold it's very thick and it won't run. You won't be able to drain it properly. Obviously if you're doing this inside a garage, make sure you've got plenty of ventilation, because your engine could be running for a few minutes. Here we go. She's been suitably warmed up for a few minutes. If you're going to ask me how long do you warm a bike up for when doing an oil change, I'm no expert, I don't know. What I have done is the oil filter, it's one of the thinnest parts of the engine componentry. Basically all I did was put my hand on the oil filter. You can get a good gauge as to the heat of the oil from just doing that, I believe. Let's have a go at getting a few tools together and taking some bits off so I can get a closer look. Right folks, what I'm going to do first, just to allow access to the DCT oil filter, which is there, I need to remove this little bit of engine cowling. Now I've got a 5mm hex bit. Hopefully I should get it off. Yeah. Three screws that I can see. Come on, there we go. Right then, from memory. No, there is more. There's a swine up there. That one that goes onto the radiator cowl. Looks like that one needs to come out as well. So here we go. I'm hoping it's just one bolt there. I need to take a few more. Oops. Let's get a different type of bolt on it. Right. Now how easy is it to get this off? I'm assuming I don't have to take all that off. Probably just clipped on somehow. Let's just slacken those front ones off as well, just so we can see what's what. So that's 3 bolts out of the engine cowl and 3 bolts out of the... Looks like I probably didn't need to take those out, to be fair with you. Let's just have a look here. So this bit is the bit we're after. Now this has been replaced once, the engine cowl, because I dropped the bike and it's scratched that part there. Now you'll have to excuse me while I just move the camera around, and excuse the back of my head for a minute. I'll try and work out why this sod won't come off. There we go. So now we have full access to the side of the oil filter housing for the DCT gearbox. So as I said, that was a 5mm hex bolts. You got 3 that go into the engine casing and 3 that go into the rad cowling. Those two could probably been left in, but best to take them off and have a quick look round. Right, next thing I believe, let's just lower this. Next thing is going to be this cowl here. That's going to have to come off next. So let's just hope that's nice and easy. Forgive me for making drone noises. I've got very limited space in my garage. Yep, still 5mm hex bit. Oh, gonna have to get a spanner for that one rather than a screwdriver attachment, because that is on solid. There's little plastic bits there as well. Right, I'll be back with you in a minute when I've got a suitable tool. Got proper Allen key this time, should make things a little bit easier. Oh, look at that. Easy peasy. Right, where else is holding this on? Excuse me for the angles here. Right, it looks like there's a little plastic rivet there. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Let's just take that out, shall we? Technical stuff. So let's use a screw again. Apologies for the back of my head. That's that out and that out. What else we got? Feels like it's held on there, but I don't know how. It's like a little rubber clip perhaps. Maybe I should have YouTubed this before trying it, but it can't be that hard, can it? What is holding you on? Right, what's that? That's a pot clip. That's a pot clip. So we've got. So right, there's a pot clip just there, holding the midsection. I thought it was a clip at the top that it hung over, but it isn't. It's a pot clip. So this must be a pot clip then. Go on. Come on. Yes. 2 pot clips. Hell. Just turn the light up a bit, one sec. Yeah, it is. So a pop clip down there as well. Just get that off. Bit of trim. And that one is bolted on there as well. Certainly not going to fall off, is it? It's still on, but there we go. Pardon me. Right. Now we have all those components off. We've got full access to the DCT filter, full access to the oil filter, and full access, which we had anyway, to the sump bolt, which is there. If you can see that. So first thing we're going to do is drain the oil. So let me just get a suitable container for this kind of job to be there. When I've all serviced cars in the past, can't beat a good old fashioned washing up bowl. I know you can buy specialist containers, but no point in spending money, is there? Just need to find the right size of socket head now for the main engine oil bolt. Probably better off with a spanner. Let's just see whether we can get socket in there. So let's start at 15mm. Too small. We've got 16mm. Too small. It's going to be a 17 in it. Don't want a 14. 17mm. Yes, fits like a glove. Now, can I get that in there? What am I going to need to use? Spanners. Let's find out, shall we? We're going to try and get 17mm socket and socket wrench in there. Oh, it does fit. Yeah, I didn't think that would. Well, I've got enough ground clearance. It's another matter. I'm going to have to get rid of the bowl. That. What I'm going to do is just find a pair of gloves, gloved up, put the ball, don't put it directly underneath, because when you take that bolt out, that oil will fire forward. So I don't know how far it's going to fire, but let's put it there, shall we? Back of the ball needs to be underneath. What I'm going to do is use this Allen key. Yeah, that'll do for when it goes near it. I feel it's going to pop out, I'll just tap it with the Allen key. These always end up going in the bowl. Exhaust. No, I'm not going to risk keeping hold of it because I'll probably scald myself with the oil. So I'm going to have to fish the bolt out of the bowl. That's now starting to drip. So I'm going to that caught me by surprise. I thought you need more turns than that. I've actually got the bolt here. It bounced into the empty side of the bowl. The oil was pissing into that side. Managed to grab it. It's got a bit of oil on there, but nothing that won't clean up. Let's just grab this old tea towel. What I'm also going to do is take the cap off the filler on the other side. Oh no, it's on this side, sorry. Just to let it go through. Don't want any vacuum in there. Let's put the ball back now. And let the engine oil drain for a bit. That's the offending oil. Now this bike was serviced about 14 months ago. I don't normally run the bikes over service, but well, it's 2020, we've perhaps not ridden it as much as we'd like anyway, and I'm reckoning, I don't think it will have done 3,000 miles since the last service, and the last service was done at a Honda deal. It was a full Honda service. It was the last service while it was still under warranty, because it was about 2 years and 11 months old when I had it serviced, I think, last. So yeah, we'll just let that drain out and then we'll have a crack at taking the filter off. Now I have got a couple of tools available for taking the filter off, which I'll show you in a second. Now I've got a couple of tools for taking the filter off. We've got the old-fashioned claw, which goes on the end of a socket set. You wind it in and it just grabs it, twists it the right way. We've also got this old chain type, which I don't think I'm going to have enough access to use that. No, I think I'll have to actually, looking at the bit of metalwork there. Yeah, I'm not going to get full access, I don't think, with that, so we'll have a crack with this chain filter remover. I've never actually used it before. Can't be that hard to use, surely. I'll just rig my camera up a bit higher so you can see what I'm doing. Right then folks, we've got an oil filter wrench, chain type. I've never used this before. I'm having a guess at how it actually works. Assuming that wraps around there. There's a chain bit that goes onto some teeth there. Now one thing with oil filters is I can never remember which way they're supposed to come off. Whether it's left or right. Let's try left for starters. I'm gonna have to sit up for this, I think. Sorry if I'm getting in the way. There we go. Thank Christ for that. I had a kettle once and I couldn't get it off, so I had to stick a screwdriver through it, and it took about 2 hours to come off. It was alright. So luckily this is a bit easier. So move the ball over to this side a little bit. Right. When I take that filter off, oil's going to piss all over. Stick a bit of paper over there, probably not the best thing to put over it, but that's not a bad idea. So that's just a bit of paper I do with a chop, so that's a warranty for it. Let's just put that like that, and then any oil coming off there is going to run down there, he says. Probably all over my hands and burn my hands. Here we go. I didn't think that would work. Yeah, so that's a little tip, folks. When you take your oil filter off, get a bit of card, bit of paper, bit of magazine or whatever, stick it over the exhaust, because when you get oil on that and it heats up, it stinks. That's a new Honda filter, so we'll just let that drain down a bit. Might take a few minutes, so I'll be back with you shortly. Alright folks, it's been dripping for a few minutes now. There can't be a lot left in it, and we can't stand it all day, can we? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a rag over that firstly, just to clean any shit off it. Try not to dip the cloth in the bowl of oil. Anyway, so we clean that surface off. Now it's a case of new filter. Dab of oil on the finger. Get it from there, actually it's still dripping. And run a little bit over the rubber seal. Like so. I'm just going to screw this back on. I know it's not finished dripping totally, but it can't be far off. And the oil in there is not that mucky anyway. Right, use this bit of paper. It's full of oil. Get rid of that responsibly. I'll stick that in a bag and put that in the bin. Rid of. There's a bit of a drip on the pipe. Let's get rid of that. I'll change my gloves to ones that's got a bit of a grip rather than full of oil. We'll just see whether we can tighten that back up hand tight. I'm just going to push the oil out of the way. It's knowing my luck, I'll stand in that. Lean on it and it'll tip over or something like that. Yeah, it's still dripping a little bit from the sump, so we'll just pop that bowl back. Okay, so what we're going to do now, let's clean that up a little bit. We're just going to try and get that on tight. I'm going to have to kneel up for this. Get some purchase. That's as tight as I'm going with my hands. Should be tight enough. I've never had to tighten one any tighter than by hand anyway, so I'm sure that'll be fine. Next thing we're going to do is the drain plug. I did get a new washer as well. Now in the past I've never actually managed to get the bastards off. It's when they crimp down, they compress generally into the thread. Luckily it's screwing. That's a new one. Nice and slack at the moment. Let's just pop that. Back in there. Bit of a clean. Should clean that while I've got it off. Can't be bothered at the moment. So that's on hand tight, which is tight enough. Now I can slide the ball out of the way. Let's just get a socket on that and nip out. Again, 17mm socket. I'm not going to do it too tight. I have no idea how tight it's supposed to go, but that felt tight enough to be deforming the washer, and that's all you need to do. It's not going to come out. Old washer, put that in the bag. Right, next thing to look at is the DCT filter. I just need to adjust the camera angle on this one, so please bear with me. Move my additional light. Too big. So that is an 8mm bit on there. Now I believe on this one of the bolts is longer than the other. These 4 bolts, there's, I believe, some kind of spring behind there as well, so you've got to watch out when you take it off. I'm assuming that's the right part. It looks like the diagram I've got. I'll just show you it on my phone. Someone on the forum very kindly put a picture on with regard to the filters and where they go. Let me just try and find that page and I'll show you. I don't know if it'll pick you up on there. Probably can't see it, but yeah, it's going to be hard to read on there, but basically that bit there looks like that bit there, and there are 1, 2, 3 screws, and the 4th one is a longer screw. So let's just try to take that off and see what happens. Jesus, that one's a bit tight. That'll be the longer one. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep hold of that cap because I have no idea what happens. When it comes off. Now the filter that's going in, Honda filter, looks like that. Now it does have written on it, again I don't know how well this is going to come out, might be too much light. Let me just turn that around for a second, that might be better for you, I'm not sure. That says inside towards engine, filter cover this side and spring towards filter cover. So basically this side sits on the outside, that side with a seal towards engine goes in. So I'm guessing that's what we're looking for when we take this apart from there's a spring in there. Just put the light back. Some 1 bolt. So about 20mm long, something like that. Another bolt, again about 20mm long, I'm guessing. bolt number 3, 20mm long. Now how long is this fella? I'm guessing about 30mm. Jesus wept. No, that's about 3 inch. Right, I'm going to need my ball back underneath this, I'm assuming, because there's going to be some oil drips out of this. So what happens? I'll just pull off. Slowly does it, because I said there's some kind of spring in there. So I'm just easing a bit of pressure off the plate. Just let it drain out because I don't want it too far all over the place. Good God. There's a lot of residual oil in there. I can feel the tension of the spring. I'm going to put my hand underneath. I know this sounds a bit daft, but if a spring's going to fall out there, I don't want to be picking it out of the oil. No, it's on the back of the cover. See it? Spring there. That's great news, is that? That saves me fishing the bastard out of the tub of oil. And I'm just going to wipe around that. And there is wording on there. I picked my camera up to move it, but my hands are full of oil. But basically it does say this side and spring towards filter cover, which is what I had there. Obviously that side looks totally different because it's got a seal on there. So yeah, we've got it the right way around. Now get rid of some oil out of that. In that bag. Obviously we're going to dispose of this oily stuff correctly. We're going to go down to the local tip and get rid of it with all the rest of the oil and filters. There we go, we can now see inside where the filter came from. Housing there. So what we're going to do is pop the filter, as it said. Let's put that down, it's too much light. Gotta pop that over that little inlet there. What I'm going to do is, just for argument's sake, pop a bit of oil over that rubber so that it slots. Yeah, that looks good to me. Got the case. With a spring. Sounds like it's gone on one bolt. In that one, let's move that back so you can see. Shorter bolts. In the other three. Snip them band tight. is I'll just nip these back up. Let's put them all out of the way. Now, I'm sure there's a torque setting for these. And I'm just going to do them as tight as I think. There we go. I'm happy with that. All we've got to do now is pour some oil in. So I'll just move the camera and we can have a go at that. All we've got to do now is pop some oil in the girl. This is genuine Honda oil I'm about to use. It's 10 watt 34 stroke. Now I know on the forums there's always debates and arguments over whether to use 1030, 1045, whatever. It's a minefield, you're always going to get people disagreeing. Luckily we've got some small funnels. So work out which one's best for going in there. Yeah, that'll do. Now I think these hold close to 4 litres, so what I'm going to have to do is bang some oil in it and keep checking it. I'll put a good 2/3 of this in, then I'll check the sight glass on the side just to see how we're looking, and then I'll run it for a bit. Something very satisfying about oil changing your own vehicle. Saves you a fortune. Don't know what franchises charge nowadays. It's about between 70 and 90 quid an hour. Or is that just car dealers? Feel free to drop us a comment if you work for a garage and let me know how much you charge for a oil and filter change on a DCT. I bet you're looking at near 200 quid. It's cost me about 60 quid. Plus about 2 quid for some funnels. So I'm just going to let that drain into there. And I'm just going to check the sight glass. Nothing yet. Just take a little while to filter on down, plus you really need to run it for a bit as well. Let's get the oil around the engine. So we're just going to check on the sight glass, which is down there. Still no sign. So let's just put the camera back into place and put some more oil in. Now I'm hoping I've got enough oil here. I never actually read up as to how much oil exactly these use, but seeing as all the service kits available online, you get 4 litres of oil and a filter, so I would assume 4 litres of oil is sufficient in covering an oil change. Still nothing in the window. I move the camera angle to cover the window because before long it's got to start showing surely. Let's keep pouring away until we can see some oil. He's run it in a minute. There we go. Can you see that, folks? Starting to fill. Just there. little bit more in. I'm just going to fill it to the top of that line and then run it, because when you run it, oil disappears in the nooks and crannies, so you always need to top it up a little bit anyway. So there we are, that is now on the top line. Let's get rid of that funnel. I put the oil filler cap back in. And we're just going to start it up, see what happens. That should be enough just to get the juices around a bit. Now I've got to wait a couple of minutes, let it rest, see where the level goes to then top up if required. Be back with you in a moment. She's been sat for about 3 or 4 minutes now and there's no oil appeared back on the sight glass, so what we're going to do is just top her up a bit more. Going back up on the sight glass, don't know whether you can see that, folks. Fill it back up to the top again, then I'll run it again and give it a few minutes. Yeah, that'll be right for now. I'll fill the cap back in. Start up again. Right, let's just stop it and rest it for another 5 minutes and see where we go from there. Back with you soon. Right guys, she's been sat for about 4 or 5 minutes after the last run. It's not looking too bad actually, that's nearly at the top. I'm just going to pop a fraction more in. I know you can't take it out, but I've got to reuse the oil container from the new oil to put the used oil into. And once I start tipping the old oil into the bottle, I can't get any new oil back out. So I'll just bike's not completely flat. There's not much left out of 4 litres there, I can tell you. That bottle is nearly inverted, so there's not much left. Yeah, we'll do it that. Put the filler cap back on. Right, now she's had an oil change, let's put her back together. Start off with the engine case. Make sure you get the right bolts in, it's not them. Oh, is it? Just on the side. Try again. Doesn't seem to be set right. That's fair. That's one, not tighten them fully until we get it all in properly. Looks symmetrical to me, so we'll nip that up. Put the bolts back in here. Now we've just got two bolts left, and a little fixing, and then it's for the back end. So I'll just reset my camera and we'll have a struggle with this back bit again, shall we? Let's grab my bits. So we've got push bit there, goes onto that one, I think it was. I think that way. So that pops into there. Pops into there like that. Excuse my fat hands, I'm left-handed, so it's in the way of the shot at the moment, but you get the drift. That pops in there. Yep, that's tight enough for that. This has got two pop areas on it. One there, one there. They go into that and that down there. Top one's in. Bottom one's in. And there's the little plastic with it That goes underneath there. Pop, that's in. And then I've just got one last bolt. Lower this down so you can perhaps see. I'm hoping you can. The other one goes in there. As you can see, she's all back together. So that is a Honda Crosstourer DCT oil and filter change. Not difficult. I'm not a professional by any means, as you can tell. Didn't take me long. Probably took me longer to set the camera up and film it than it did actually do the service. So there we go, folks. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and we'll see what else we've got planned in future. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.